G'day, how you going? Ian Apples here, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my video where I want to show you how I'm going to paint an acrylic moonlit ocean scene. Beautiful, deep, dark, vibrant colours here. Before I get started, I'm using that size canvas and I'll get the colours running up the screen that I've chosen to use for this painting. Now this is a bit of a advanced beginner's stage painting. If you want to follow along, watch how I do it and simply get on over here and let's get right into it. Alright, I'm going to paint on both halves of this canvas, but first I want to start with the top half. Take my time, relax, know what I'm doing. I want you to know what you're doing if you're following along with this video, and then we can migrate down to the lower half. So I want to condition the canvas. I've got some retarder there, but I feel I didn't really need it, so I'm not really blending the retarder into it. This is just to get my coloured paint to glide across the canvas with ease. I'll get the top half painted with this craft paint. It's got a little bit of retarder in it, but if I try and paint my blues onto this dry canvas, I feel it gets very chalky looking, and I don't like that. I'm always, 9 times out of 10, painting this soft titanium white on my canvas when I'm doing skies. So I'm just going to get that left and right nice and even, coming to the tip of my yellow putter on a brush, because this brush don't muck around when it gets the paint on there. Now my sky colour is going to exist of two main darker blues. I'm chosen phthalo blue. Get this into the base of the sky, or the base main area. So I want this coming all the way across here, coming up, because I don't want to put my darker colour on this white colour. It's going to lighten it too much, so I'll use this to cover that, to glide. And this colour that I'm putting on, I want it to be in this perimeter of the sky. So what's going through my mind here, I'll just bring it down past the horizon line. Now I'm just going to push it, force it within the tooth of the canvas where I want it. This is acrylic paint. I love using acrylic, I only use acrylic. Now I'm going to go left and right and get that in there where I want it. And then I've got to stop, analyse and check your work out. Now I'm going to give that another quick wipe. I feel with that colour, I'm just going to pick up some more. I want it maybe a little bit darker here, just like that. There we go, come up, bleed it into the top half of the sky, which is going to be even darker again, and bleed that down. See how I got this colour from that? That's what I'm wanting. I'll use my Infinity X strokes to pull it down, and then left and right again to even out the strokes. And a lot of this is going to be done with this putter on a brush. It's a big 2-inch brush, nothing special. If you want this brush, simply message me on Facebook and I'll send it out to you. $45 US, gets it to you anywhere in the world. Now I've cleaned my brush and I've got some dioxazine purple here. I want this for my darker elements, so I'm going to show you how to push this in with controlling it. I pretty much want the top of my sky dark, so I'm pushing it on, stamping it on. I'm controlling where I want this dark element. Stamp it on, come along here. Now I'll get some more on the brush. I want it cupping the top of the sky, coming down here a bit darker, pushing it on. This is before I start stroking it. I just find it's easy to control here. Even if I wanted a dark element right there, I can put it there, okay? But I just like controlling my sky values when let's say if I'm doing a darker sky or something like this, I can control it where I want it. Now I'll simply wipe that brush, just wipe the bulk off it, and now I want to push that across my sky, push this into the middle, push this into the middle. But hey, hang on a minute, I don't want to leave it like that because it does look a bit cartoony. So now I want to just simply use the tip of this brush, because the tip of my hairs on here has got nothing on it now, all the paint's pushed up, and that's going to allow me to kind of crisscross blend in a way that I can get this vibe happening with that darker colour. And then I will use the full strokes across the canvas just to get all these brush strokes down. So there you go, I'm done, I'm ready, I've got that done. Now I'm going to just go left and right, right across, and I've got my values in the sky pretty much where I want it. I'm picking up a blending brush. Where the purple's on the blue, I'll get that joined together. I'm just stamping it on and off before I go into the purple, because if I go into there and then bring it back here, I'm just going to bring purple all into my phthalo blue. So I'm just getting that softer transition there of the two colours. Now if you want to opt to do this, you can, or you can just leave it the way you got it, brush stroked. And now I'll come into the purple and just stamp and sit down those brush strokes, sitting them down. And now I'm ready to put me moon in there. Now come here, I want to put my moon element right in the sky there. Work out the size you want. It's important not to go too big. I'm going to opt for this size. I've got a pouncer here. I'm just going to make this moon very simple. So I'm going to prime it up with some of this white craft paint here. This will allow the colours to not be so see-through-y. So I'm going to simply get this on there. And I want this pretty well up here into some of the, I don't want it in just the light. I want it in where the light and the dark is meeting. So this is just going to simply prime the area to have that coloured. There we go, that's good enough. And I'll give that a bit of a dry. Now I'll just get the Indian yellow. Let's see if I get some of that with, because I've got yellow ochre and Indian yellow here. I'll get some of this and a little bit of white just to turn the lights on. There we go. So I want to leave some white, but I also want this colour to be noticed. So now I've got a small flat brush here and I want to get to the edge and just let it fade, dance it onto this white. See, that white is still a bit wet, so I'm going to dry it. See how it's scraping and getting the blue back? I don't want that, so I've got to dry that a bit more. Okay, back to the Indian yellow mixed with a bit of yellow ochre and some white, and we'll start again because my colour was just digging into it. Now I want this just lightly scraped across the white. Here we go. I need to have dried it. It was too wet, it was digging in, because in the blue sky colour I didn't need the retarder, but I had some in there. So I want to get this just lightly yellow, very lightly. It can be see-through here and there. I'm just being careful not to get this brush and dig into that white because it's quite thick, so I'm just kind of lacing it on there and guiding it across that white there, just so it's dancing across it there. And what I can do if I feel I need to is just stamp it on where I want it. I want it a bit more brighter here of the yellow, not too yellowy, and plus I'm trying to hide that blue where I grinded down back to the blue. So I'm just sitting that on there like so. I'll wipe all the build up off my brush and I'll just gingerly glide across the top of that, just so as I can sit them down. Now I've got the yellow oxide here. I'm going to grab this. I'm just going to grab the tiniest bit of burnt umber so I can get a darker value of this. So I'll get that mixed with it. There we go. And I want to get the dark moon vibes all in the moon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp them on roughly where I want them. And as I stamp them on, I'll just gingerly sit them down, just like so. Because it's got sunlight hitting the moon, the lunar surface here. So I'm just going to stamp it on and then gingerly soften the edges up, just so from a glance people say, oh, that's not a bad moon, it's all right, it's a moon, it's a moon. Just there, coming down here. Whoa, don't go past there. And it's just a matter of standing back, looking at your work and just getting the light values where you feel you need them and the dark values. Okay, and I'm just getting a little bit more of a darker value, maybe just here. Hopefully it's picking that up. Something there. Just so that yellow oxide isn't one bland value. I've made a boo-boo here, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to fix that up on camera because I'm not happy with that. I went out the edge of the moon there a bit. So what colours have we got there? We've got the Indian yellow mixed with the white and a little bit of yellow ochre. I'll just panel beat that by coming back over it. Now the edge of my moon isn't really sharp. It really should be a bit sharper than what it is, but I've taped up my horizon line. I'm going to pick up the craft white and prime up the lower half of the painting. I don't want to bring this white right up to the tape because that's how we get a white line. So I want to get this up to my colour there. And then stroke it left and right, and then just gingerly bring it to the tape. Just to the tape, that'll do it. Now this water's going to have cerulean blue and phthalo blue. Clean me putter on a brush, and I want to start with cerulean blue to get all that blue the one value, then I can add the darker and lighter values and the highlights hitting it. So simply come across here, massage it into that white, get some more on your brush, and then start pushing it up to your tape. So hopefully any paint that goes under the tape is coloured paint, not white. Stroke it left and right now to get it all left and right, like laying like water. Now it does look a bit pale. I do need it a bit more cerulean-y bluey, so I'm just going to add some more in the middle band of that, so as I'll get what I'm looking for. Right across here, there we go. All right, back down here, I've got my phthalo blue into the brush, and this I want right against the horizon line coming down halfway into the water. So right across here, oh, phthalo blue, yes, look at that, right across there. Let's control it a bit better now, so we'll get some of this stamped on there. Over here, there we go, controlling the darkness. I want it mainly, because this blue and this darker area is going to indicate the horizon line. There we go. Something like that. Water fight. I've got a bit of skin on my brush there. Just water fight till you're happy. I'm happy with that. If I brush too much, it's going to gradually get lighter and lighter the way I've got that craft paint underneath. I'll take that tape off. Hopefully we got a decent line there. Yeah, that's better. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted. The transition of the two colours is a bit harsh. I would have liked it a little bit more subtle, but now this lower half of the water, I've given it a dry, but it's still a bit rubbery. So I want to take advantage of that and get the bottom whitewash in first. And to do that, I want to create the darker spots so as the light stuff will sit on top instead of it looking like it's floating. So I've got me phthalo blue down here. I'm just going to grab some of this on a flat brush, and I want my whitewash coming across, let's say from about here all the way across the bottom. So what I want to do is work out where I'm going to have it, and then just gingerly put some darker vibes of this in a let's see, here we go here, because right against this is going to be very whitewash. Bits and bobs here, there. I've got to put it on and then just push it out. Now this part here, if you're let's say you're not an advanced painter, you might think, what's going on here? Watch the video a couple of times just to get a gist of what I'm doing, and then you'll see how and why I am doing what I'm doing. Let's say there, might get something crisping up there. I could probably even use this brush to pull it through, but I'll come back to this one because I like it. Choking in there. There can be the slightest bits just tracing through here, just tracing through. Where are we? Maybe up here somewhere. Get some of this, because it's too bright down here. I've got it a little bit too bright, it needed to be darker. So I'm just gradually scissoring, splicing and slicing those vibes in there. Without this dark, the whitewash won't look as realistic as it needs to. I want some of this just behind there as well. Probably it's going to have a nice crest there somewhere, so I'll do that later. I want to concentrate on this bottom bit first. I'm just picking up a little bit of white. Let's just see what happens. It kind of softens the two together. See, it gets rid of that harsh, dry, chalky vibe of them all. Here we go, look, I'll show you. Pulling it through, playing with it backwards and forwards, we're building up the different colours to get the different values within here. Now I've got a filbert brush. I could use a flat. I'm going to try the filbert because it's got rounded edges. And I'll pick up my titanium white, but that can be slightly tainted with the cerulean blue, so it's not pure white. That way we got the opportunity later on to enhance it with pure white. And I want to get me whitewash, like starting from that dark bit there, I want to press it on and then come back. Now get rid of that dag on my brush. I want to press it on and then start scrumbling it back, getting it against that dark bit I first put there, and then just start scrumbling it back. I'll grab my scrumbling brush, hope it's not too wet because I've washed it, and I want to jangle this through there so it's real smoky, blurry, misty like that. So we've got a nice big chunk here pushing down there, come across, blur that back. And this is going to be later on built upon with different values of the white as well. Crisp it right against that dark bit so you can see that dark bit, don't lose it. And now we're making turmoil, and in that turmoil we've got the darker values of blue that's allowing it to add depth. Right up here to this dark bit here. Scrumble that, push it into all there. I'm trying to get something just here as well, so it's got other bodies to it. Push it on. Depending how dry you dried your water is depending on how often you've got to put this on and come back with the scrumbling brush to, like what I'm doing here, scrumble it. Otherwise, if I go too far and it dries on me, I'm not going to be able to wash it out there as well as I am right now. Right against the dark, and then come over it, bang, into that there. Push it in, push it back. I don't like the way that's just there, so I want to disturb that. Okay, I'm going to do another pass now. I want some more set back from the edge though, so as we can, it doesn't just look like one flat, weird setup. Let me look at that. Yeah, that's kind of doing what I need it to do. I want a bit washed right out here, just like that, and quickly scrumble that back. I have dried it a bit too much, so I haven't got much of a window to scrumble it, so that's why I'm sort of rushing a little bit. Let's get something way back here, and then quickly push that back. This is just the lower minor detail of the wave. Wait till we do the real wave. It's going to blow your mind, hopefully. I just want some slight bits of white down here. Actually, I wanted a little bit more bluer than that. I'm just quickly putting a bit more blue into it, so it still looks white. There we go. So some of this is just got traces of white in there. That darker area that I laid in there, I feel I might have to come back here and there just to lace in some darker areas again. Like so. Picking up the phthalo and dancing it right under there where I feel I need it. Right here, get right under there, because we've still got to put the white on, don't forget, and I can smear it towards the edge here. Smear it out, smear it out. I'll grab some of this cerulean blue, a bit of the cadmium yellow light. There we go. Now I want it quite dark, so I might try the phthalo blue. Now I want some of this in the darker zones as well, just pulling. Don't overdo it. Because the blue on its own is just not enough. See these bits here? We can gingerly lace some of it through there as well. So when we put the actual white on, it's sinking these down as well, just gingerly there. Wave is going to come along here, up there, so I want a darker value here. I'm going to use this colour and the darker blue to get this in there. I'll just sit this on there now, so as well I've got the brush going, you can see what I mean. So we'll get that going there. Fading away underneath. I've got the phthalo blue, I mixed it with the cerulean blue, then I brought it over here and put it into that green colour, because this is not going to be green all the way there. I want this to be, yeah, this colour, so it's there and coming down. It's got a bit of a green vibe there because I've already put the paint there, but that's fine. And we'll just get it simply fading to a small crest there. And we need this darker value to make our wave pop. I love ocean scenes. If you like ocean scenes, give me a comment below. Tell me what you think. I want some of this radiating out across the bottom there, flat. It's kind of scooping up there. Now where the wave is going to hit, there's going to be darkness there as well. This is all across here. Got to try and get this smooth. We got darkness of this in there. This is all going to be fixed up with white, so bear with me. We got darkness out there, but we can get probably some other, just like that. Something linear and long, something darker here, just behind, before we put the white on. Now in here there's subtle bits of this darker colour as well, just cresting up, kind of going like that. Nice darker ones just cutting through here. I'll fix this up later with the white. Now I'm going to get some white just to soften that blue up, because it looks quite boogity, you know, like stark and scratchy and dry and kind of not flowy. Watch what the white does. Picking up the white within the brush. Let's see here. we don't want it looking light. This is kind of going to melt the paint onto the surface, the canvas colour that's already down there, hopefully. So the canvas colour is a lot drier than what this dark colour was I'm putting on, but what this white's doing, hopefully, when I look in my monitor, it's kind of melting it on there. So it's not too stark. There we go. I feel it's kind of working. And like I said, we just come backwards and forwards with bits and bobs. Especially all this over here where I feel we might have put too many dark chunks through there. I'm going to simply control that. I'm grabbing some of that greeny vibe just for the back of this wave. I'm just going to scrumble it in here like this, just pulling it across there. That's the eye of our wave. It will be. Now I have a hog bristle long round brush here. I'm going to just pick up the white and taint that as well. We're going to add the tainted white to the wave so we can at least crisp it with pure white at the end. And I like this brush because I can put it on there and get it where I want. So what I'm going to do first is quickly come from here and get this, let it come away. That's a little bit too bright, so I'm going to add a little bit more blue with that because I want this white, very bluey white. I want windows within it. There's the bottom of my wave here, and here's roughly the top and the back of it. So I'm coming across here. This is all just turmoil wash. And how white's that looking? It's looking, I do need a little bit more blue in it. It's a bit too white. So it's just a matter of fine tuning the value of it. There we go. Coming along here. Let's get it along that dark bit there. Along that dark bit and billow it up to that green bit you put there. Bits of window, opened areas within it. Coming across here. Up to here. It's going to be the top of the wave. So this little brush is helping scrumble and blend it and making all that frothy, round, tumbly turmoil within this white. I feel coming along here. I'll have a look in the monitor. Yes, it's kind of doing its job. Work out as you need to start adding more white. Now, over here, from there, you don't want this white at all. You want this very dirty white. It's just coming over. I'll get the edge of it in there first. Crisping over that dark stuff. And then there. Slightly here, we just want the bit of colour and just scrumbling into nothing. That's too white. I'm going to add more blue to that. It's too white. Just so we've got light hitting the top there. I can come back with the darker vibe to sink that back, just simply by doing this. Grabbing the darker colour, finding it and pushing it back down. Oh golly, too much white there. I'm going to disturb it and then I can add the slightest bright later. It's like I said, it's backwards and forwards. Now still working with the whites, slowly bringing the different values of white. I want to start getting this whitewash. That's too white. I'll get a bit more blue. So it's so much, just not too much blue now. Backwards and forwards, play with it. Get our wider value. Now see the bit where it's meeting the dark here, you need to come from that and then just let it billow back. Some of it can be lacing along here like so. I just need to look into my monitor there. Yeah, that's looking a bit more whitewashy. Now we'll go back to the wave. Little bits of dropping here and coming down from it. They've dropped off here. I love waves. I've got quite a few waves in my paintings. If you like waves, let me know in the comments. And we just got stuff falling, ready to come here as well. Nice, gradually getting brighter and whiter. As you can see, it's falling onto that darker vibe down there. Brighter and whiter. I'm always looking back in my monitor because it's a great way to squint your eyes and look at your work as I'm filming. It's wonderful to help me out that way. We've got a lot of frothy bits and bobs here. And look how easy it is. I'm just layering it up, and it's slowly transforming into a wave. Back down here we need some biting froth just behind there, biting in for detail. So as we can set it back with the front detail of this whitewash. Some lazy stuff out here. Is that looking white on there? It is a bit. I wanted a lot more bluer, more bluey whites. Get this sitting down on there and start lacing it in, ready for the final white. And obviously that's been whipped and sprayed in the air with some wind hitting it there. Bit of night wind in the water. And we're going to gradually bring our real strong white into the wave here. Right, I want to go, where's my monitor? Some of this out there, and there's looking all right. And I don't really want too much up there, so I'll leave that. I'm just touching, twisting, dancing, sliding around. Start brightening up the very edge of this now, down here, this bottom one as well, in a way. So you can get an idea now how this wave is, this one is a more dropped, relaxed version of the one on top of it, coming in rolls. There we go. Is my camera getting all the way over this side? Yes it is. I'm going to come right off the painting before I just get to the edge. Now I want to go pure white. Okay, I'm picking up the pure white just to get on my wave where I want the essence of this really hitting with this brightness. So I want a chunk of it there, a bit of it highlighted in this area here, And you can see if I used white earlier on, I wouldn't have the power to do this now. Can I have a look at that? Yes. So see, we're just getting little bits of powerful highlight along the edge here where it's hitting the water. The moon's able to light some of this up in a subtle way. I need to look, where am I going? Oh, I could see something here just being hit. And then down the bottom, where are we? We really want, I want to make this look like it's this thick. So to do that, I need to get this highlight roughly on this corner here, and it's dribbling down. I'm going to look in my monitor after I do this little section here just to see if it's working. Yes, it kind of is. It's a bit slopping up. Pure white, just pure white. And bits of bobs are just lacing through here, not too much. So I'll just kind of make that look like that. And this is this bit here. Now I will finesse the darker areas before I add the shimmer of the moon on the water. Alright, now the white's done everywhere. I need bits of my darker value back in here, sliced right against the white. Where am I there? And I want to get this scissored right where I want my shimmer to be. So I need some dark there for my shimmer to sit on, otherwise it's not going to quite look right. Some of this is going to come, where are you? Up here. What's over here? See some of this white that might be too much? Just sink it back if you feel you have to. Now this yellowy colour here is what I want to use for our light reflecting on the water. I'm simply going to use some orange with a bit of white just to get it a bit more opaque. There we go. And a little bit of yellow. I'm using my little dagger brush here. Alright, so where are we going to start from? I want to come across here and scatter it down through there. So I want it very faint at the horizon line. So I'll start here first. Probably come to the horizon line there now. I want lines in between it, gaps. Where's my colour that I mixed? Make sure I pick up the right colour. And we're going to have this just shimmering across the surface. I'm using my dagger brush because I can feel I can get a nice sharp knife edge slicing these lines into the water there, and I'm doing them in a way where it's following the surface of the water, kind of like that. Yeah, that's better. How's that looking? Good. I'll fine tune this. I'll get the main bones of it there, and I want some of it now starting to radiate. This wave's coming down, so from about there at the foot of the wave, I want the reflection to start coming across here as well. It won't be up there because that's behind. And this is pretty much going to nice sharp little lines there. You don't want it translucent, you want it opaque. And we can probably put the slightest bit of this here as well. Some of it in there. Got just a little bit of dust of that colour in here, just to maybe just put some in there. There we go. It's going to grab some of the dark phthalo blue on a script liner, and I'll put my autograph down in the corner here. Now, I want to thank my YouTube members and my patrons who support me every month. You really inspire me to get my channel moving along more and more each day. It helps very much. So thank you very much for those people. Check out all the links in the description below. Okay, let's whack a frame on that and see how it looks. Yeah, that's not too shabby. We've got a moonlit ocean just slapping a wave down. And I know you can do it. Well, I had a lot of fun doing that. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I'm doing, you tell your friends. But if you don't like what I'm doing, you tell everybody. Also, I'd like you to look at this other video of mine that'll help you out in your art journey. Goodbye, good luck, and good on ya.